Joao Pedro, unstoppable. Estevao, bright. Fernandez, resurgence. Chelsea player ratings versus Fulham. Hope you all are having a great day. Before we start, if you are a true football fan who wants real news from football clubs at the right time, then don't forget to click the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Let's get started. The full Chelsea player ratings after the Blues recorded a victory over West London rivals Fulham thanks to goals from Joao Pedro and Enzo Fernandez at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have moved to the top of the Premier League table after beating Fulham in an incident-packed encounter at Stamford Bridge. The visitors thought they took the lead in the first half through Josh King, who rolled the ball past Robert Sanchez. However, referee Rob Jones was sent to the pitch-side monitor to look at an incident involving Rodrigo Muniz and Trevoh Chalobah. The Fulham attacker was adjudged to have fouled the Chelsea defender, and it was disallowed. It was the home side, though, who took the lead before the break. Joao Pedro headed in his fifth goal in as many starts for the Blues to give his side the advantage at halftime. Marco Silva, the Fulham boss, waited for referee Jones to give him an earful as the sides headed down the tunnel. There was more VAR drama in the second period. Ryan Sessegnon blocked Chalobah's shot with his arm, and Jones once again went over to the monitor to review the incident. He then confirmed a penalty for Chelsea, which Enzo Fernandez took and scored. Didn't have too much to do. His distribution was good, which is always a plus. Malo Gusto, 6. Didn't notice him too much, which is sometimes good. There were a couple of poor touches from the right back, though, which were noticeable, linked well with Estevao Willian at times. Trevoh Chalobah, 7. Chalobah looked solid for the Blues, especially in the first half. Some crucial interceptions and did well to contend with the physical threat of Alex Iwobi. Superb pass to set up Joao Pedro in the second half, and the Brazilian should have done better. Tosin Adarabioyo, 6. Misses a great chance to score just before halftime, typically solid against his former club. Marc Cucurella, 7. Sets the pace early on with a crunching tackle with Fulham on a dangerous attack. Moments later, he sets Liam Delap up for a good chance. Great performance yet again. Moises Caicedo, 7. A truly sensational block to deny Timothy Castagne just before halftime. Goal-saving, no doubt about it. Very rarely puts a foot wrong, and he didn't today. Enzo Fernandez, 7. Such a weird one to rate. Played awfully in the first half, but ended up with an assist for Joao Pedro. Then, in the second period, he scored from the spot. Fernandez's name was being chanted around Stamford Bridge after his goal in what was a nice moment. 7 out of 10 based purely on his undeniable contribution. Estevao Willian, 7. Looked really bright. His link-up play with his new teammates is already really good. Almost scored early in the second half. Joao Pedro, 8. Joao Pedro once again started in the number 10 role and was being very tightly marked by Sander Berg. However, the Brazilian was able to find pockets of space through some clever movement. Pedro Neto, 6. Just not as effective on the left. Worked hard as always and consistently looked to beat his man, but he came up against a strong right back in Kenny Tete. Improved in the second half to bring his score up to 6. Liam Delap, NA, lasted just 15 minutes before picking up what looks like a hamstring injury. Tyrick George, on for Delap, 15, 5. Came on as the false 9, surprisingly. Nothing really stuck to him. Struggled a bit. Jamie Gittins on for Estevao, 68, 6. Nice to see him get some more minutes. Bright start with his shot forcing a corner. Bar that, he didn't get too involved. Reece James on for Neto, 82, NA. Bit surprised not to see him start. Andrey Santos on for George, 82, NA. Maybe should have got more minutes. Joao Pedro, unstoppable. Estevao, bright. Fernandez, resurgence. Chelsea player ratings versus Fulham. Chelsea's latest clash with Fulham delivered a performance full of intensity, flair, and revival from some of the Blues' most talked-about names, with Joao Pedro, Estevao, and Enzo Fernandez stealing the headlines in a pulsating encounter. The West London derby at Stamford Bridge became more than just a test of 3 points. It turned into a statement from Mauricio Pochettino's evolving side, where individual brilliance and collective growth were both on display. The story of the night revolved around Chelsea's new attacking star, Joao Pedro, the teenage Brazilian wonderkid Estevao, and the much-discussed World Cup winner Enzo Fernandez, who finally showed flashes of his Benfica-era dynamism. Joao Pedro was unstoppable from the first whistle, producing the kind of performance that Chelsea fans had been waiting for. His ability to glide past defenders, link play with midfielders, and create panic in Fulham's backline set the tone. Every time he touched the ball, there was electricity in the stands. His goal epitomized his confidence, timing his run to perfection and finishing with authority. Pedro's movement off the ball was equally destructive, forcing Fulham to stretch and leaving gaps for his teammates to exploit. What stood out was his chemistry with Estevao, who looked every bit the prodigy Chelsea fought hard to bring to London. At just 17, Estevao dazzled with his fearless dribbling and quick decision-making. He played without pressure, twisting past markers and playing clever passes in the final third. His composure was remarkable, and though still raw, he showed that he could already influence games at the highest level. Fans could sense they were watching something special, the kind of spark Stamford Bridge has missed for years. Enzo Fernandez, on the other hand, produced the kind of display that silenced critics who doubted his place in Chelsea's midfield rebuild. Freed from excessive defensive shackles, Fernandez played with rhythm and aggression, dictating tempo and spraying passes that split open Fulham's shape. His resurgence brought balance to the team, allowing Moises Caicedo to handle the dirty work, while Fernandez orchestrated with vision. The Argentine's confidence seemed restored, and his involvement in Chelsea's attacking phases brought back glimpses of the playmaker that earned him his record-breaking move to West London. Pochettino's tactical approach deserves credit. Chelsea's pressing was sharp, their transitions quick, and their ability to sustain pressure against Fulham proved the gulf in quality. The Blues controlled possession without becoming predictable, with the fullbacks pushing high to support the attack, while Levi Colwill and Axel Disasi marshaled the backline. Malo Gusto's energy on the right and Marc Cucurella's persistence on the left gave Chelsea extra dimensions in wide areas. Fulham had moments of resilience, but they were ultimately undone by Chelsea's intensity. Joao Pedro fought hard in midfield, and Willian showed flashes of his old Stamford Bridge magic, but Fulham struggled to contain Chelsea's flow, especially once Joao Pedro and Estevao hit their stride. Raheem Sterling, too, offered a lively display, stretching play and providing useful runs, even if his finishing lacked clinical precision. Nicholas Jackson worked tirelessly, linking up well and creating space for Joao Pedro to thrive. Between the posts, Robert Sanchez commanded his area with assurance, making key stops to ensure Chelsea's dominance wasn't undone by lapses at the back. The clean sheet was as valuable to the goalkeeper's confidence as it was to the team's growing stability. Player ratings reflected Chelsea's balance between individual brilliance and collective growth. Joao Pedro earned a near-perfect score, his performance marked by sharpness, creativity, and a killer instinct. Estevao, despite his youth, showed maturity beyond his years, meriting a strong rating that acknowledged both his flair and contribution. Enzo Fernandez, back to his controlling best, was rightly recognized for his resurgence. Caicedo's defensive industry, Gusto's dynamism, and Sanchez's reliability further highlighted Chelsea's all-round display. The Stamford Bridge crowd responded to the performance with joy and belief, sensing that Chelsea's new era might be finding direction. For too long, inconsistency plagued the side, but nights like this showed the potential of Pochettino's squad. With Pedro leading the line like a true star, Estevao blossoming with fearlessness, and Fernandez finally imposing himself in midfield, Chelsea's future looked brighter than it has in recent seasons. The result also came at a crucial time in the campaign, lifting Chelsea higher in the table and sending a message to their Premier League rivals. The performances of Pedro, Estevao, and Fernandez will dominate headlines, but the collective effort cannot be ignored. Every player contributed to the derby win, every line worked in sync, and every fan left Stamford Bridge with pride. In a season where Chelsea's journey has been scrutinized heavily, this match against Fulham was more than just 3 points. It was a glimpse of what this squad is capable of when belief, tactics, and talent align. Chelsea's player ratings told the story. Joao Pedro, unstoppable. Estevao, bright. Fernandez, resurgence. A perfect storm that lit up the bridge and reignited hope for a blue future. Thank you so much for watching our video. For all the latest football news and analysis, be sure to subscribe to the Football Focus YouTube channel and stay with us.